Alright, here we are in Karaoke Builder Studio, where we're going to show how to create our title slideshow. So we will first go up here towards the right and click on Slides. And we'll go ahead and click New to create a new slideshow. Again, we'll click New. This second slide will be our title screen. And we have an image background, so we'll click on Image. And we'll choose the image we created. Now you'll see a couple things here. The first is that the background is all black, and the second that the image is pretty poorly rendered. There's a lot of dithering. So we can turn the dithering off or back on with that checkbox. So be aware of that. Let's go to the second one, and we're going to click on Optimize for all slides, and that's going to get us a better palette and more of the colors that are in the image that we're using there. Alright, and now we're going to pick one of these colors in the palette that we had already, and we'll click on that, and we'll say Set Border Color, and we'll click on that, and we'll say Set Background Color. And that'll make it the background color and the border color for the slide. The same thing again for our previous slide. And we can either dither or not dither. I think on this one we actually kind of look better without the dithering, so we'll just leave it no dithering. And then what I like to do is then create a third slide afterwards. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to have a blank screen. It's going to have an effect, and the title screen is going to come in, and then it's going to blank out again before it goes on to your track. So the next thing that we want to look at is the effects and the length of time that each slide is shown. So we're going to say special effect, which one do we want for this? And we've got all these different special effects that Karaoke Builder Studio gives us, which are pretty awesome. Let's try something like the open out diagonal 2. I think I like that one for this. Or perhaps a lattice? No. What else might look good? Diagonal bottom left. Oh, that's clock. Diagonal bottom left. That's good. That's a good one right there. Or circle bottom left. Yeah, circle bottom left looks good. Okay. So we'll go ahead and choose circle bottom left. And we'll click this to adjust our viewing time. So I'm going to do 4 seconds. And then the overall slideshow size I'm going to set to a fixed length. And for now I'm going to put 8 seconds. And then for our special effect for our second slide, we can choose one of these special effects to wipe it, or we can simply do a fade. I like just a fade on that one, and then I like the viewing time. I just go ahead and set that down actually to even less than a second, and say, let's say half of a second there, or I guess a fifth of a second, and the fade duration is just about the same there. So the entire time this slide is shown, it's going to be fading from the original one. So that's just about it as far as creating the title slideshow. at least the basic one, and as soon as we've got that one done, we want to save the slideshow, and I call it titles. Okay, and now we're ready to do a test build of that, so we'll click on Build. Again, I just call it titles, but this is now going to be a CD graphics. And you see it actually gives you a little bit more than 8 seconds, which is a little strange. It's not really what we want, but there you go. So that's the effects in place there. Let's go ahead and go back to these lengths and see what we can do. So that's going a little bit more than 8 seconds. So we can choose either to bump this up. So let's go ahead and bump this up to 10 seconds and save it. Still titles slideshow, and we're going to go ahead and build it again and replace the one we had before. Now you see it's exactly 10 seconds or 3,000 packs, and we'll play that. And we'll see how nice that works. There. Very nice. Okay. So now that we've got that basic one done, then what we're going to need to do is create one for a specific song. So that's really easy. They give us this overlaid text area here. You're going to click the New button there. And then you're going to put in the title of your song. In this case, I'm using a song called Hello My Baby. Nice ragtime song written in 1889 and in the public domain. So we'll bring this over here and we'll click on the tab, vertical tab here, to get over to font. And that'll let us change the font that we have here. We probably want to use a bigger font than the default. Make sure this is nice and obvious. And then we're going to choose a different font for our name. Good. We'll use this Sego marker, and it's kind of a small font, so we'll make it much bigger. And then depending on how long your song name is, of course you're going to need to adjust that font size and do things like that. So you can write there that one line for the song name, and then if you need something for the artist, you just click New, and you'll probably shrink the font down on that one down to maybe like that size. And this particular one that I'm doing, I think, is Tony Carroll. But I'm just going to say traditional. And then use these across and down selections to move that text around a little bit. And it's kind of fun, it's got a rotation here, so if you want to be a little fancier, you could do something like that. That's a rotation of 5 there. I'll rotate that 5 there as well. There we go. Now we got a nice little fancy title shot, title screen again. And then what I like to do is go ahead and save it with the song name. And that way the next time that we want to change the song, we'll just say, new song, and that's all we have to do. So the titles will already be set. We're ready for our next track. So again, we'll save that, replace the existing titles track, and we will build that out. And here's what that looks like. Okay, so now we have a 10-second intro slideshow. So the thing that we're going to need to do is make sure that our music track has 10 seconds of before the vocals start, or add a lead in of at least a few seconds of silence. So we'll do that back again on my Mac, and we'll do that with some software called Audacity. So for now, I'll just exit this slideshow, and we will be back to Karaoke Builder Studio in just a few moments.